Yeah, I spent a little time at an auction over the weekend. Didn't really need anything, but you know what? You gotta go look and see. You just never know what's gonna be there. Everybody's getting a little woolly. Winter is getting close. Matter of fact, I think I got a chance of snow tonight. So I thought what I'd talk about a little bit today, getting ready for winter. Some of the stuff's going on. You've got to get your water ready, get feed, this and that, and what we're doing with that. The week's been fairly uneventful. Nothing really went on too much. I did have one. Matter of fact, this gal right here in front looking at us was a little bit sick last week. I don't know. She one day she's fine, next day she wouldn't come in and eat any corn. So I decided I'm gonna have to give her a shot of LA 200. So we finally got her corralled, got her in, got her a shot, and I don't know if she's better now, but I'll tell you what, that old LA 200, it stings sometimes. So the next day she was looking real good. I don't know if she was healthier or if she just wanted to make sure I didn't give her another shot of LA 200. I'm not sure which it was, but anyway, she came up okay. Water. Let's discuss a little bit of water. Now, I've got 14 head of sheep in this pen, not counting babies. And over in this pen over here, I've got 4. So what I have in that building, I'm using a small flat-backed bucket, like people use their horse stalls or something like that. That's easily handles them. 5 gallons there. Usually I put about, they drink about 1/3 of it, and that's been in warm weather. So that's probably all they'll drink. It's probably once a day, just throw a little water in there. That's real easy. It doesn't use much electricity. Now, over this pen, I got 14. You got to have a little bit more from the water supply. So what we did, let me get turned around here as you can see a little bit. I'm using a bigger bucket in here. Now that's a 17 or 18 gallon bucket. As I've been using that, I can see, usually I got to put in 5 gallons or maybe just a little more every day. That's how much they're drinking. So that'll easily handle me over the winter. But what do you do for heating? Now you can see I kind of put a boxer on it. I don't have a top on it yet. I still haven't done that. But for the heater, I'm just using a bird bath de-icer. That's all it takes. That's 250 watts. That's easily going to be enough to keep that thawed out. As long as you can keep it out of the wind, like I've got there, you know, it gets down below 0. You may have some ice on it in the morning, sometimes below 0. But most of the time, you're not going to have any problem with a 250 gallon, or 250 watt heater. And I'm going to tell you what, that's going to use a whole lot less electricity than those 1200 or 15 watt heaters. They use a ton of juice. So if you're just in a small tub like that, you can get by with a lot smaller heaters like this. You don't need those big high price floaters or the ones that cost you a lot of money to operate them all the time. All right, feed. What are we going to do for feed? Now, what you use feed-wise is going to determine what part of the country you're in. Here in Nebraska, I'm feeding alfalfa. And you can see where I've been feeding. You can see the stems on the ground where they're leaving some of the stems. But you know, they pick around on those stems and stuff eventually too. Some parts of the country, you might be feeding grass, hay, or mixtures or whatever. Here I feed alfalfa. And in my case, I'm feeding round bales. Now, the key to round bales is you got to be able to handle them, and not everybody can do that. I'm fortunate enough to have a tractor, got a 3-point on the 3-point section. I got a bale mover. I can pick up big round bales. I can bring them inside. I can flip them over. I don't like to put them in and just put a round bale out for them to eat on. I like to put mine in smaller feeders like this, and I'll go ahead and feed mine every day. I kind of like doing it that way, a little bit better. I don't think you get quite as much waste that way. But what does it cost? How much you need, or what does it cost to feed one? All right, for sheep, 2% body weight. That's what they tell you to feed in hay every day, about 2% body weight. It's got a 100-pound sheep, it's going to need 2 pounds. Now, this ewe right here, a ram out there, and maybe 1 or 2 other ewes might weigh close to 100 pounds. But I got a lot of them out there probably don't weigh, and especially these little guys down here probably don't weigh more than 50 or 60. So on average, my sheep probably average out, let's say 75 pounds across the board. So that means they're going to get 1.5 pounds of feed every day, 1.5 pounds of hay. I got a total of 18 total sheep I'm feeding. So the pound and a half, that means they need 27 pounds a day. Let's call it 30. Now, I'll put a bunch of hay on the back of my golf cart in the box, and that's what I pitched that on. But I wasn't sure how much, so I decided to weigh it the other day. I ended up having 41 pounds. So I'm feeding about 40 pounds of hay a day. 30 is what they need. I'm gonna just stick with the 40. They'll have a little extra. It isn't gonna hurt. That and the fact, I'm buying 1,800 pound round bales for 110 bucks. If I feed 40 pounds a day, 30 days a month, 1,200 pounds, so it's costing me about it's costing me about $80 a month to feed all 18 sheep. So even though I'm feeding them a little extra, hey, if I can feed this entire flock for 80 bucks a month, that's not bad. I got feeders out. I do give them a little corn. Now, a lot of people might give them about a half a pound of corn a day. I'm not quite giving them that much. I give them a little bit every day. Probably don't give them that much. Let's see, 18 would be 9 pounds a day. I'm probably giving them about 5 or 6 pounds a day. But at that point, still, that really the cost is not much. At 5 pounds a day, a 50-pound bag lasts me 10 days. What are we talking? $8 and something. We're talking 80 cents a day. So 80 cents a day to feed them some corn, and that's enough. As you can see, most of these are nice. They're fat. Of course, they're getting a little woolly right now with wintertime coming, but everybody's got plenty of weight on. They've been looking really good. Matter of fact, I had a couple of them. I was wondering if they're bred or not. Turns out they were just fat. So, and speaking of bred, Max out there, we missed the last video. He had one ewe he was with. I think that was on the 13th of the month. He had a different ewe he was with on the 14th and a different ewe on the 15th. Now, Blackbellies come in season every 17 days. So that means on the 30th, the 31st, and November 1st, if you didn't breed those the first time, they should be coming back here for the second time. So I've written those all down in the book. And on the 30th, I'll pull out and see which one he's supposed to be with. And if he's not following around, then he must have got that one bred the first time around. Let's see, the one that was sick, actually, he was with her on the 24th and another one just before that. So I think I know of 5 ewes that I think he's bred. Just have to see if they stick or not. Means he's still got a few to go yet, but then again, there may be a couple that I didn't even see or that I missed out on, so that's always a possibility too. Just have to see which way that one works. You know, while we're on the subject of feeding, whether we're feeding corn, hay, or whatever, I want to talk to you about the feeders I built. And let me get around here and get down where I can show you one. Get them picked up. Nothing fancy. What that is a 10-foot long section of 6-inch PVC. Now, cut in half, and then cut in half lengthways and cut in half crossways. There's the full 10-footer over there. I'm sure they got 2 kinds of PVC. I don't know, 40, 80 schedule. All I know is they had one for $36 and one for $22, and I bought the piece for 22 bucks. So for $22, I had the 10-foot piece. I cut it in half lengthways. Then I bought end caps. End caps were like $6 and change. I didn't even bother to glue them on. There's 2 screws in there holding the 2x4, holds the end cap, and you know what? They're waterproof, because when they're out here to get rain, they do fill up with water on one end, so I'm gonna have to drill some holes in them. I thought for sure the water would just leak out because I didn't glue that, but it hasn't. So anyway, I got $22 into the pipe, and I got $24 into end caps. No, wait a minute. I'll take that back, because I only have 2 end caps. So I got $12. So right here I have $34, and that's got me a 10-foot and a 5-foot. And then I got another one over in another pin. But that is a pretty cheap way to make a feeder if you need. I've even seen these where they didn't put them on the boards. They sent cement blocks and slipped those through the holes in the cement blocks. Now I'm assuming that was a 6-inch. That might have been a smaller pipe to fit the holes. I don't know. I've just seen pictures. I haven't seen it done. But this is the way I built my feeders. Worked out pretty good, I think. It's a nice economical feeder. It doesn't cost you much. Some of those things get rather high priced, but for me, just a 10-foot piece of 6-inch pipe, and I end up with about 20 foot of feeders, so that's not too bad. Well guys, I guess that's about going to do it for today. I don't have much more. Hey, maybe next time around I will show you I built a new catch pen. We had our temporary one with just some chain link dog kennel panels, but I wanted something a little more permanent. I got something covered, and I've been working on that the last few weeks. So maybe next time around, I'll show you the new catch pen stuff we've been doing there and anything else that's been happening. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.